What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nasher. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now 197 away from hitting 500 subs. Guys, we're getting there. We are drawing closer and closer to 500 subs. I know we can do it, guys. Let's see if we can make that happen by the end of the year. Will it be possible? Only one way to find out. But as I have said in previous videos, if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because practically 100% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then be sure to be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this: who is your all-time favorite WWE Hall of Famer and why? Let me know down in the comments below. And speaking of the Hall of Fame, guys, WrestleMania season, the road to WrestleMania is now reaching its climax. We are literally just a few days away from what could very may will be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, even bigger than last year. And even by then, last year's WrestleMania was just as historic. We saw Cody Rhodes finally finish the story. We saw new champions crowned as a symbol that it truly was the beginning of a new era in WWE. And not only that, but we also saw as well Paul Heyman earn his flowers in the Hall of Fame. Which brings me to this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. With the Hall of Fame ceremony coming up this Friday, immediately following SmackDown, the question that has been on everyone's mind is, will WWE ever bring back the Warrior Award? Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are probably asking yourselves, wait a minute, the Warrior Award, what's that about? So the Warrior Award actually started around 2015, about a year after the Ultimate Warrior passed away. Literally, he gets his flowers, gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then on Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania in New Orleans, he cuts his final promo ever, and then just a few days later, he sadly passed away, which is very unfortunate. 1 year later, WWE announced that they were gonna do a little thing, this little thing as part of the Hall of Fame ceremony called the Warrior Award. Basically, what the Warrior Award is, it's a way to honor and acknowledge, no pun intended, those who have fought through adversity. Whether it's fighting, whether it's fighting cancer, whether it's fighting, whether it's fighting, certain, other different types of illness, even also fighting, fighting surgeries, or as we've seen before, as we've seen in the past, even also giving back to the WWE community by doing, by working charities and whatnot. And over the years, we've seen a lot of different people get their flowers, if you will, in the Hall of Fame. We saw Connor the Crusher Connor McCulloch, I think was his name. We saw him get his flowers, which he was actually the very first recipient of the Warrior Award. Funny enough, we've seen um, Joan London. In fact, I think I can look it up on here. Give me 1 second. Warrior Award. Here we are. Okay. So I was right, but technically speaking, it says here that the Warrior Award is named after WWE Hall of Famer, the Ultimate Warrior. It's presented to an individual who has exhibited unwavering strength, perseverance, courage, and compassion, embodying the spirit of the Ultimate Warrior. So let's see. Inductees. Let's see. Let's see here. The Warrior Award has been awarded to multiple people over the years. I'm gonna let's see, Warrior Award. Recipients list. Here we are. This should help. Okay, this actually should help. Okay, here we are. Okay, so when you look at the Warrior Award, right? You look at Connor McCulloch. His kind of cute though, but his nickname was Connor the Crusher, which was his ring name, if you will. That was his wish for Make-A-Wish, where he wanted to have his own wrestling name and wanted to be able to work with the talent and even with Triple H, which was very cool. And he got it, which is very cool. So Connor got his flowers in 2015, which was the launch of the Warrior Award. Joan London, who survived breast cancer. Eric LeGrand, who was a paraplegic, actually, if I remember right. I think he became a paraplegic from playing football, if I remember correctly. Then of course Jarius Robertson, or JJ Robertson, kind of a comedian. If you saw the 2018 Hall of Fame ceremony, he was a interesting comedian, to say the very least. Sue Aitchison, who actually was actually a woman who has hosted more Make-A-Wish events than anything else in the world, which is awesome. Titus O'Neil, obviously for giving back to the community. Having his own brand, I guess, called the Thaddeus Bullard Foundation. Basically, I think it's giving kids, those who need, giving kids, school supplies and whatnot that they desperately need for school, which is pretty awesome. Rich Herring, who was, I believe he was once a producer for WWE. And then the last time we had the Warrior Award was Shad Gaspard in 2022. Where he actually sacrificed himself for his son, saving his kid from drowning in the ocean, which is crazy. Very crazy. Very, very crazy to say the very least. I will say though, I think I will say when you look at when you look at the Hall of Fame and you look at the Warrior Award, um, it's kind it's kind it's kind of crazy because they stopped doing the Warrior Award. I think in 2023, was it? I want to say it was 2023. That was 2 years ago. And let's see. Let's see. I think Tim White was the last person to receive the Warrior Award. Um, yeah. Yes, yeah. So Tim White, I believe, was the last person to receive the Warrior Award, and get his flowers in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, for being arguably one of, if not the greatest, referee in WWE history, and it's weird. It's kind of crazy because the Warrior Award was always meant to be a staple to WWE, but it wasn't until 2023 where they stopped doing it. So it's been a couple years, but now they're doing this thing where 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 they're doing what's called an immortal moment, where 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 they give certain matches their flowers in the Hall of Fame. This year uh Bret the Hitman Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a no disqualification submission match with Ken Shamrock as the special guest referee at WrestleMania 13. Interestingly enough, we don't really know exactly who is going to induct the natural disasters, right? Again, that match, right? The immortal moment will be inducted by CM Punk. As far as the rest go, Lex Luger will be inducted by Diamond Dallas Page. Michelle McCool will be inducted by her husband, The Undertaker, a fellow Hall of Famer. And Triple H will be inducted by Shawn Michaels. Obviously, Triple H inducted Shawn Michaels. It would only be right. As far as the natural disasters go, it would have to be someone who specialized in tag team wrestling, and I think the Dudleys would probably fit that bill. But then again, it could be Hulk Hogan for all we know. Anything is possible. But as far as the Warrior Award, I think WWE made a big mistake by not bringing back the Warrior Award. I feel like mostly just because of the fact that it was a way to honor those who have shown that perseverance, who have shown that courage and whatnot, and have shown that compassion. That I feel like it's an act of injustice for WWE to stop announcing the Warrior Award. But at the same time, when you think about it, Dana Warrior, who's actually the wife of the Ultimate Warrior, um, her deal with WWE expired, so they chose to not renew her deal, which I feel like was a big mistake. And the reason why I say that is because she had played such a crazy factor in bringing in the Warrior Award. The same way that the same way that WWE played a factor, bringing in that moment in the WWE Hall of Fame. Excuse me. So thinking on it, it's like who could receive their flowers, right? Who could receive the excuse me, who would receive the Warrior Award in WWE's Hall of Fame? There are so many people. There's obviously guys like Roman Reigns, obviously for surviving leukemia and still fighting it to this day, and just being able to just give back to his fans because of it is just incredible, absolutely incredible. There's also John Cena. We could see him get that moment. Mostly for the fact that he's granted more wishes than any other pro athlete in the world. Like he is granted more wishes than Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's saying a lot because Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the biggest stars in sports today. I think second to like maybe maybe Conor McGregor, maybe like Brock, or like Brock Lesnar perhaps. He's up there. Who else could receive their flowers? I mean, there's former WWE referee Earl Hebner. That'd be interesting. There are so many people. But I feel like WWE definitely should bring back the Warrior Award because it'd be a shame not to. Like I feel like WWE removing the Warrior Award from their ranks, from the ranks of the Hall of Fame, is again an act of injustice and a slap in the face of the Ultimate Warrior. But thinking about it, I'm pretty sure the Ultimate Warrior would probably be okay with it. I don't know. I haven't really thought much of it though, but I'm pretty sure he probably would have wanted the Warrior Award to continue as a way to honor his legacy. To honor his name and what he contributed to WWE. But I will say, I will say, with the Hall of Fame ceremony coming up this Friday, there's really no telling what to expect. It's just gonna be very interesting to say the very least. But with that being said, that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, then be sure to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, be sure to follow me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.